Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Naquam, watching through Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach or Malak Yahushai. This is another installment of WFI Late Nights. It's a little 13 p.m. out here in the East Coast. Giving, again, a hearty shalom to the mighty Akim out there laboring, doing the work. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David out there teaching the nation that's been in the truth for decades. I'm a hearty shalom to the other brothers that may not be out on the forefront, but they working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're optimistic about going out and doing the work, and they stand fervent in prayer and fast and getting households in order. Another shalom to the Akwath out there, submissive, reverencing their husbands, and doing what the Most High requires of them. Right. So tonight's topic is the pale horse and the fourth seal. All right, so I want to go to the book of Revelation, the 6th chapter, and address the time that we live in. All right, because you got to be able to be circumspect, and like we always reinforce, like the scriptures say, know what time that you live in. Right, there's seals written in the scriptures. Right, you have 7 seals. You have to know what seal that you actually in. All right, so we're in the time of living in the fourth seal. All right, so let's go to that in the book of Revelation. Right, let's go to Revelation, the 6th chapter. All right, Revelation chapter 6 and 7, and it reads, "And when he had opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th beast say, 'Come and see.'" So who opened the seal? Right, the Lord opened these seals, man. Remember that Yahweh Shai opened the 7 seals when you read the 5th chapter. Right, let's go to Revelation chapter 5. Right, this Revelation chapter 5 I want to show you, because in order to understand what's going on in the 6th chapter, you got to pretty much understand the context of these seals being opened. All right, so this is Revelation chapter 5 and 1. "And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within on the backside, sealed with 7 seals." And that book represents his Bible. You know, it's not the Bible in my hand, but it's the word up there in the heavens. And it was sealed with 7 seals, man, meaning completely sealed. Right, and these different seals represent different prophecies that will come to pass. Right, let me go to Daniel chapter 12 real quick and prove that. Right, again, shalom to everybody tuning in to the live stream. Right, this is Daniel chapter 12, and I'm gonna read verse 4. "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." So he told Daniel to seal the book, meaning seal up the prophecies. Meaning there's a set day, hour, and second when prophecies are going to be made manifest and revealed. But it wasn't time for these prophecies to be known during the time of Daniel. Right? That's why in 2 Peter, the 1st chapter, it says that we have a more sure word of prophecy. You know, whereunto that you do well as a light that shineth in a dark place. And I'm paraphrasing 2 Peter 1:19 and 20. Why? Because as time progresses and as we reach the end of this man's world, the light increases and knowledge is going to increase. The floods are going to rise when you read Ezekiel 47. And the prophecies, you're going to have a more sure word of prophecy. You're going to be more certain and have a higher level of understanding as time progresses pertaining to these prophecies. Right? So it was sealed during the time of Daniel, and now these seals are being loosed. They were loosed when Yahweh Shah went up to the heavens and unloosed the knowledge and gave it to his elect. Right? So let's go to that. And then these seals have to fly out on the earth as well. All right? So let's go to this again, Revelation chapter 5 and 1. "And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, 'Who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof?' Right? And no man in heaven, nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon," meaning no spirit up there. No spirit on the earth can get and open these seals, right? Nobody under the earth, meaning they in the grave and they spirits up there in the heavens. The Lord, the Most High calling out all the spirits of the earth. Right? He's saying, who's going to open up this book and loose the seven seals thereof? Reading on, verse 4. And I wept much. So he ain't weep a little. He was sobbing, man. Because he wanted these things to be revealed and made manifest, like we do. We want these prophecies to be made manifest, that the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's name could be magnified. So that's why John wept much. All right, it says, and I wept much because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. Salakia, and one of the elders said unto me, weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the seven seals thereof. So who's the Lion of the tribe of Judah? Yahushua. He's the Lion of the tribe of Judah. You had somebody that was on a call last night and asked, was King David an Edomite? Well, Yahushua, he's from the tribe of Judah. He's the son of David. Right? So Yahushua was a pure Israelite, man. Firstborn of Mary and Joseph, and firstborn in the spirit world. And when you read the law in the book of Exodus, the first that opens the womb, Exodus 13, 1 on down, the first one that comes out the womb is sanctified by the Lord. All right. So Yahushua, he's the top spirit. He's the beginning of the creation of the Most High. And he's the one that opened up the seal. He's the one that comes down and gives you understanding. Right? Let me go to that in Proverbs chapter 2 and 6 real quick. Right? So nobody can understand his word unless you're divinely inspired. Like I tell you in the book of Job, the 32nd chapter. Right? This Proverbs 2 and 6. For the Lord giveth wisdom. Out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. He layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. So that wisdom is preserved and is laid up just for the righteous. Right? He is a buckler to them that walk uprightly, meaning he's a defense. But the point is, out of the mouth of the most high cometh wisdom, man. And you can't get wisdom in this society, man. When I speak about this society, I'm talking about this man's colleges, his public education school system. You can't go to the Library of Congress and expect to acquire wisdom. That's something that has to be done and given to you from on high. Right? Let me go to Job chapter 32. So when Yahushua opened up the book, open up the seven seals, he's bestowing upon man wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and revealing the prophecies that will come to pass. All right, just to give you the context of what's going on in the fourth seal. Right, so this Job chapter 32 and verse 8. But there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding. So you have to be divinely inspired by Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, to understand his word, man. Right? That's the only way that you understand his word. It can break down the precepts. You have to be inspired from on high, man. When you inspire somebody, you kind of stir up their spirit. You know, somebody may not want to paint, you know, and they may have never thought about painting or being an artist. And they may go to a damn museum, man, and they may be inspired. Let me see if I can pull up this definition of inspired, just to pull up the definition, right? Because it says you have to be divinely inspired by the Lord, right? So inspired definition, it reads, of extraordinary quality, as if arising from some external creative impulse. So the external creative impulse is Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. Right? Okay, that was the adjective. We want the verb. All right, so here you have to fill someone. Here's the better definition for inspired. To fill someone with the urge or ability to do or feel something, especially do something creative. Right? And I like this definition. It says to animate someone with such a feeling. Animate, when you look at that word up, it means to give life. Like you have inanimate objects, they're not living. You have animation. Those are cartoons that come to life. Right? So the Lord animates man through the Holy Spirit. And that's what allows us to understand these words. So that's what it means. You're divinely inspired. There's an inspiration from the Almighty, meaning he gives man life. He animates man. Man was inanimate. He's in a grave. He's bones. he's damn in the graveyard. There's no life, so the Lord has to put his breath in you and inspire you and animate you, man. That's what it means. You know, I like that definition. It says again, I'm gonna read that again. It says animate someone with such a feeling, right? So that's the check this out. Another definition: to breathe in, to inhale, right? And it's from the Latin in, meaning into, in, and then from spirare, which means to breathe, like respiration. That means to breathe again, you know. From the Latin again, I'm gonna put that out again from the Latin, to breathe into. So what does it mean you have to be inspired by the Lord? There's an inspiration. It means he has to breathe life in you and give you understanding. Right? And that's what the Lord did when he opened up the seals. Right? Let's read that again. Job chapter 32 and 8. But there's a spirit in man. So you have a spirit in you, but it's inanimate, it's dead, you know, and it has to be quickened, it has to be stirred up. But there's a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding. So what gives you understanding? The breath of the Lord. He animates you and give you life. That's what it means, the inspiration. All right, when you look that word up. Right, so let's go to Luke chapter 24. Let's get another precept on that. All right, again, shalom to Yarab Yasha'Allah, Mr. 82 Sizzler, Jesse Daniel, the brother, his name Yahweh Yasha'Allah, Deshaun Dilliard, Second Ezra 6:54 through 59, Ban Yawasap, House of Manasseh, Sanithia Cormier, right? And most I will, and I'll get to the questions, brother, at the end, you know, if the Lord's permitted. All right, this is Luke chapter 24, and I'm gonna read verse 45. Luke chapter 24, Shalom Yasha'Allah Levite. And it reads, then open he their understanding that they might understand the scripture. So the Most High has to open up your understanding that you can understand his word. Right? Again, man can teach you, but you have to be divinely inspired, man, by the Most High himself. So when we go back to Revelation chapter 5, he's opening the seals and giving man the knowledge of what's going on. And that happened up there in 96 AD, man. You know, during the time when the Lord went up there. But in Luke 24, he gave them partial knowledge. He gave them some of the understanding. But Peter, John, and James, they didn't get the same thing that John got. I mean, when I say Peter, James, and the other disciples, I'll put it like that. They didn't get what John got. They didn't receive the visions in Revelation. Right? Yahweh shall open up their mind that they can understand the scriptures. The scriptures is really Genesis to Malachi. Because there was no New Testament during the time. Peter wasn't walking around with the book of Acts. He wasn't persuading the kingdom, going to the Corinthians. He wasn't going to the book of Revelation, the 7th chapter, and teaching them. When it says he opened a mind that they might understand the scriptures is the Old Testament. That's all he had, Genesis to Malachi, right? That's why in St. John, the 5th chapter, I believe the 39th verse, Yahweh Shah says, search the scriptures, for in them are they which testify of me, paraphrasing. Right? So that's what the scriptures are called on a technical level. All right. But in Revelation, when he opened up these seals, he's revealing the end time prophecies. That's what these revelations are. So in the 4th seal, we're speaking about a prophecy that's going to happen. All right. Or that's happening now. This is what you living in. Right. Revelation chapter 6 and 7. And when he, meaning Yahweh Shai, had opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th beast say, come and see. So basically, he opened up these seals of this book, and John is seeing, it's like a hologram, for lack of better terms. And he's seeing the prophecies of this unfold in this book while the book is open and the seal is open. For lack of better terms, a hologram is up, and he's in a vision, in a trance, and seeing what's going on as each seal is opened up. And that's where Esau get these movies from, right? Where they kind of take throw a ball down and a hologram pop up or something to that effect. That's what's going on in the scriptures. They opening up these books, and he's seeing these visions of what happened as these seals are being opened. All right. So he said, come and see, right? Verse 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power earth. So this is the time we're living in now, man. You have an actual what is it? Group of spirits that the Lord is calling death. You know, and that's where Esau get the concept of the Grim Reaper from. Right? If you know about the Grim Reaper, let me see if I can pull it up. If you're not familiar with it, it's basically what they call a death angel, man. Right? And I wanted to do a screen recording just to pull up a few images, but I'll just show you the best way I can right now from my phone. All right, bear with me. So this is the Grim Reaper, and there's basically a death angel, man. You know, that's where they get the scriptures from, right? They may say that's death. All right, they say death is appearing at your doorsteps, right? That's where they get this from the Bible, man. They went to the book of Revelation and they seen death and they kind of personified it, man. And they put a scythe, or however you said, in this guy's hand. Even if you look up pale horse, let's see if we can pull this up. In Revelation, let's see what comes up. All right, you see you got the Grim Reaper. You can look at that. Look like Skeletor on a horse, man. All right, and you can pull this up if the image is too blurry, right? That's who they call the pale horse. That's the illustration that these artists are giving it. All right, so this is what we're reading about, right? The pale horse. All right, let's see if we can get a few more images on that. All right, here's another one. The pale horse. All right, and he that sat on him was called Death. Now, what does that mean? What does it mean he that sat on him was called Death? Right, here's another one. All right, so you know these artists, they kind of trying to figure out what's going on. What they call the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Right, that's what they call it, the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Apocalypse meaning the end. All right, because Revelation speaks about the end of the world. Right, so let's explain what this is going into. All right, we have to break this down. Is it talking about the Grim Reaper? Is that what it's talking about? Is it talking about a man with a scythe in his hand, and his name is, he got a name tag on, and the name is actually Death? It's not what it's talking about, man. It's speaking about the Lord hath created an elect amount of angels, and he has given power to these angels to execute his judgment on the earth and send evil and death on the earth. So let's read that again. Revelation chapter 6 and 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. Now, when it says horse, horse is really talking about power is given to this man. Right? Because when you go, I'm going to go to Ecclesiastes, the 10th chapter. When you're upon a horse, that's the Lord showing that you're in a position of power now. Right? So when you read this account, you got the man on the red horse. And we may do a breakdown going through the four horsemen. But I want to focus on the fourth horse right now. You know, death, meaning power is given unto death. That's why he's upon a horse. Let's go to Ecclesiastes and prove that. It's not talking about an actual man on a horse. It means the Lord is giving power now to these angels and letting them loose, man. Right? In the times we're living in now, that's why you got that tornado that just went through I believe, Tennessee. Who did? The Lord did that, man. A lot of people, they blaming Mother Nature. They mad at Mother Nature. They kicking the dirt. They digging holes in the ground. They getting mad at so-called Mother Nature. Hey, it ain't about Mother Nature, man. Right? When people talk about that coronavirus, he didn't wash his hands. Or they didn't sanitize themselves. Or the CDC, the Center of Disease Control. Hey, that's death. That's the pale horse, man. These earthquakes and people dying by mudslides and these famines and disease, who's doing that? The Lord has given power to death. When I say death, these angels, they roaming to and fro through the earth, man, at a high level. And you can't see them. You know, now when you read 2 Samuel, David kind of saw a glimpse of death, man. And Esau, he make these movies like Final Destination. You know, he got like 6 Final Destinations. And these Edomites, their job when you watch these movies, they could actually defeat death. They always, you know, Esau and his pride, he always find a way to win. He even beat the Most High. Here you go, you got the Most High trying to kill the Edomites, and they keep overthrowing the Lord's judgment. They keep wiggling around death, and then they survive at the end of the thing, man. Well, you can't escape if he coming for you, man, and you can't escape. And I'm not saying you know, I'm speaking about the wicked. And he got a list. He got a list of people that he's killing, man. So anytime somebody dying of coronavirus, anytime somebody dying of an earthquake, natural disaster, them tornadoes, hey, the Most High did that, and he charged one of his top angels death. You know? So let's go to that. I had a lot of precepts in my mind. Let's go to Ecclesiastes, the 10th chapter. All right, Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 7. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. So that's spiritual. Our servants are the other nations. Now they're upon horses. They're in the power seat now. The Lord said in Deuteronomy 28:43, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. We used to be on a horse. We used to be in a position of power where the nations all feared us. But now we're servants on the earth. Now we slaves. You know? Hey, I had an Edomite at the plantation told me to get to work today, man. He said, get back to work. And I kind of laughed. I didn't get upset. You know? I kind of laughed. I was like, damn, yo, we in captivity, man. And I thought about the scriptures. And I kind of laughed because he's gonna be working for us soon, man. You know? So what we telling you is that these scriptures are speaking and is real. Right? Let me read that again. Ecclesiastes 10 and 7. I have seen servants upon horses. These Edomites stand in a position of power. They run the financial status of the world. They run the global economy. They run the top religion, politics, way of life. It's all ran by the wicked. You can even look at old pictures of slavery, times of physical chattel slavery, and you see actual Edomites on horses. And they walking through, they show you that in the movie Django. And they got the whip in their hand. They saying, fast, pick up the pace. You know? And now we just servants upon the earth. So that horse represents power. Even in army and leagues of war and time of conflict, if you had an infantry and regular footmen, they may be strong. They may have certain battle formations and certain tactics where they could take down the opposing infantry. But if you have cavalry are men upon horses. If you have cavalry, they can always have the advantage over infantry because they have a position of power. They can see more. They have this horse coming with them, power and strength. Bear with me 1 second. So cavalry beats infantry anytime. Right? Bear with me. Let me get this on the charger. So that just shows you another reason why the horse represents power. All right. Let's go to another precept and prove that. Let's go to Revelation. Right? Anytime you're sitting upon a beast, it represents you giving power. Right? And that's why these Christians, they don't know what's going on. They draw on the actual skeleton. Hey, if it was a skeleton, the Lord would have said it's a skeleton upon a horse. All right. Revelation chapter 17 and verse 3. And it reads, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Right? This woman is Babylon the Great. America, that whore. And what do they get their power from? From this beast. Right? That's what gives her power. Because you wouldn't fear just a regular whore coming at you. You know? But if she's upon a scarlet colored beast with 7 heads and 10 horns, that's what gives her power. That's what makes this woman intimidating. And in order to get to the woman, you got to kind of get through the beast. And the beast is her foundation. That's where she gets her strength from. So this beast represents the ancient Greco-Roman Empire, right? Which goes back to Russia, France, Germany, Rome, Spain, Greece. You know, and the order is Greece, Rome, Spain, France, Germany, Russia, Great Britain. Those are the 7 horns or 7 heads. And the 10 horns is the European Union. You know? So that's where America get their power from, right? Right? So them upon that beast means they're in that power seat. Just to show you that again. Right? Let's get another precept on that. Precept must be upon precept, or you're not going to understand what's going on. You can't wing it, man. All right, let's go to Luke chapter 10, and I'm going to read verse 30. Right? Luke chapter 10 and 30, and it reads, and Yahushua answering said, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment and wounded him and departed, leaving him half dead. That certain man are the Israelites, right? And we went from our homeland to these other lands. But the Lord is parabolically speaking of these lands as Jericho, because Jericho was once a land inhabited by the Canaanites, right? And when we lived amongst that land before conquering it, or when we went to the land of Canaan, we were strangers before we conquered that land. So now we're strangers in Babylon the Great, or we have strangers in England. Israelites are strangers in Russia. They're strangers in Italy, strangers in the land of Ham, because we came from Jerusalem to Jericho and we fell among thieves. The thieves are the other nations that conquered us and subdued us. And they stole from us our raiment, meaning our spiritual knowledge, our understanding, our heritage, the name of the Most High, the name Yahushua, the laws, the statutes, the commandments. Our wisdom was all stripped away from us, and they left us out here in the cold. And they wounded us and left us half dead, right? Verse 31, and by chance there came down a certain priest that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. That certain priest represents another Israelite that know the truth, but that's highly esteemed, like these top celebrities. The priests and these Levites, they were men of renown. They were famous men, rich men, elite men, right? But you have wicked priests. You have wicked elders. Like you have wicked leaders of our own people now, man. The Al Sharptons, the Farrakhans. You got Farrakhan knowing that we the Israelites. He see us wounded. He see us half dead, and he just passed by. He didn't get himself a garment and order fringes and get a Bible. With the amount of influence that this man has on the minds of the saints out there, he has not done anything to help us being half dead. Help us. We don't know what the hell is going on. But you have men that know what's going on, and they're not teaching the people. That's what this is going into. All right, the Farrakhan, he represents the Levite. The Al Sharpton, they represent the priest. You know, verse 32. Right, I'm getting to the point, but I just want to show you verse 32. And likewise, a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on them and passed by on the other side. So they see us in the ghettos and the slums. But a lot of these Levites and priests during the times of Yahushua, they were sellouts. They were coons. And they had an affinity with the Roman Empire that they can keep their status and keep their power going through Esau. See, when they saw Jake in the lower state, they would pass by on the other side, collect money from the Romans. So they passing by because they got somewhere they want to go, man. They already on the journey. They about money. They about fame. Right? They about wickedness. Right? Verse 33. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him. Now the Samaritan represents the prophets. Right? Because during the time of Yahushua, the Samaritans were men that were outcasts. They were men that were hated. To the point where they told Yahushua that thou art a Samaritan and thou hast a devil. That's how they thought about the Samaritans, because some of the Samaritans were Israelites. You had some that lived in that land, but you had Israelites that lived in Samaria that were called Samaritans, like the woman at the well. You know, like this brother, this is a fellow Israelite. You're not about to have a heathen that have compassion on the Israelite. Yeah, certain brothers that say all the Samaritans are heathen. Why would this heathen treat this Israelite the way he treated him? Just talking about the prophets, the servants of the Lord. And we're going to break that down and explain it. So our people, the prophets, have compassion. I tell you that in 2 Chronicles 36 and 15, that the Lord sent prophets out there because he had compassion on his people. All right. Verse 34. And when he went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine. That's how you know it's a prophet, because he gave him knowledge and understanding. Oil and wine. The heathen, they don't have that oil and wine. Right? Don't they drink the wine of violence and eat the bread of wickedness? Right? Don't they devour our people like bread? But the prophets of the Lord, they see our people wounded, and they see the wounds, they see the putrefying sores and the curses and the affliction, and they hear to help us. So they pour in oil and wine, which is wisdom and knowledge. They restore back our nationality. They break down the curses, right? They call the times of when the Most High delivered us, and they teach that to the people. All right. And that's the only thing that gives man life. And it's coming from a man that's not highly esteemed. All right. Verse 34. And went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine. Here's the point. And set him on his own beast. I'm going to read that again. And set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn and took care of him. What does it mean he set him upon his own beast? Meaning he restored back the truth to him. Right? Your beast represents your strength. And what is our strength? This knowledge, this understanding. This is our strength. That's what allows us to move. That's what gives us power. Just like that scarlet colored beast gives America their power, and that's their foundation. Our foundation and strength comes from serving Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right? That's why when you go to Zechariah, it says, turn you to the stronghold. Right? Let's go to Zechariah chapter 9. And I'm going to read 11 and 12. All right? This is the book of Zechariah chapter 9 and 11. As for thee also, by the blood of thy covenant, I have set forth thy prisoners out of the pit wherein is no water. So Yahushua came to redeem us out of these physical bodies, restore our minds through the spirit of truth. Right? That's what it's going into. Verse 12. Turn you to the stronghold, yea, prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. So what does it mean, turn to the stronghold? Meaning get back on your beast. Our stronghold is this truth. That's the stronghold. Right? Genesis to Malachi. All right. First Esdras, the second Maccabees, Matthew to Revelation. Turn you to the stronghold, you prisoners of hope. Get back to your knowledge. That's why in Isaiah chapter 52, it says, awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion, put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem. Right? So that's what it means. We're set upon our beast. We're given back our power. All right. So when you go back to Revelation 6, it says death set upon a beast, or upon a horse. All right, again, Revelation chapter 6 and 8. And I looked and behold a pale horse. And pale represents death, if you will, right? Because when man give up the ghost, they become pale, right? It says, and his name that sat on him was death, and hell followed with him. What does it mean, hell followed with him? Now, for people that believe that there's an actual fiery inferno under the earth, how can that place get up with legs, right? And get up and follow death? It's talking about the grave. Meaning when these angels are killing everybody, immediately after their death, they throwing these bodies in the grave. Hell follow with them. Sometimes you read hell in the Bible, and the Hebrew word sometimes is shawa'al, I believe. It's shawa'al, which means the grave, meaning literally in the earth, where you put a coffin in the earth. Right? So hell follow with them. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth. And that just means a certain portion of the people of the earth. All right. It's not necessarily 25%. Right. A fourth part of the earth to kill with sword, meaning war and destruction. You got wars going on. You got rumors of wars. You got bombs being dropped. You got people getting shot and killed. You just had somebody got shot down the street, man. Right? You got wars going on, like I said, rockets being shot off, nuclear bombs being built. Who's doing that? Death is doing that. And who is his right hand man? Right? The right hand man, his right hand man represents his right hand man is the grave. All right. And with hunger, you got famines going on. And you can see now at these different supermarkets or wholesale stores like Costco, Walmart. Hey, they robbing these places, man. I seen Eve, knowing that we at the end of the world, they robbing a damn beauty supply store. They took it out their way to go and rob and get some fake eyelashes and weave and makeup to survive the last days. Have big black trash bags, man, and getting lip gloss to make it. Well, they not going to make it, man. And that's a damn shame. You got people stocking up on food and water, and they getting damn makeup and weave. So that's the time we living in, man. All right, but the point is, these storehouses, like I said, Walmart and Costco, they're gonna be empty, man. That's what the Bible said. Right? So famine is coming to the earth in a big way. And who's going to be in charge of doing that? Death. All right. It says to kill with hunger and with death and with the beasts of the earth. Right? Let's go to the book of Sirach chapter 39. Right? And we bring this out a lot, but we're gonna keep bringing it up. This is Sirach chapter 39 and verse 28. Right? Sirach chapter 39 and 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So you have actual angels that are created for destruction. That's their sole purpose. Right? You have every angel is not given the same responsibility. Not every angel is a guardian angel. Right? Not every angel is a death angel. You have different angels for different responsibilities. Keep in mind that the angels up there in the heavens, they're known as the host of the Lord. When you read in the word and it says the Lord of hosts, it doesn't mean the host of the Grammys. It doesn't mean the Lord, he's the host of the next dinner party. Or he's hosting the next Christmas party. That word, the host, it means armies. So when it says Lord of hosts, he's the Lord or master of every army. Right? And the Israelites, they're our army. We're our own army. You can read about that in Numbers, the 33rd chapter. Right? The chariots, they're our army. Right? Actual soldiers. These Edomite soldiers, they controlled by the Most High. That's his army. These Moabite soldiers, they belong to the Most High's army. Any army belongs to the Lord, man. Right? So he's the master of armies and a god of war, or he is a god of war, a man of war. All right. So these angels up there, like I said, they have different responsibilities. Like not every person in the army has the same responsibility. You got certain soldiers that are medical soldiers. You know, they go out there and they medicine man, for lack of better terms. You got men that are generals. You got captains. You know, you got men that are go out there with the gurney. You know, you got first aid response soldiers. You got all types of soldiers. You got snipers. You got bomb experts. You got men that are specialized in demolition. Right? You got people that are damn paratroopers. You got the Navy. You got the Air Force. My brother said you got recon. That's brother Amos. Shalom Amos on the call, man, with a live stream. Right? You got damn what's another? You got the Marines. You got SWAT team. Right? You got special ops. You got the Green Beret. Right? So you have different responsibilities even in the earthly army. And that's done by the Most High. The Lord created these different offices for different armies. Like the army of Israel, you have prophets, apostles, teachers, you understand, evangelists, whatever the case may be. How much more with the angels, which were the first army created, right? The angels up there, they got different art, they got different responsibilities. So that's why we're reading in Sirach 39, you got certain angels that are created for vengeance, right? Let's get a precept on these different angels having different responsibilities, right? Let's go to Zechariah, the first chapter. All right, let's go to Zechariah, the first chapter. All right, and we're going to read verse 8. All right, Zechariah chapter 1 and 8. Bear with me. And it reads, right, Zechariah chapter 1 and 8. I saw by night, and behold, a man riding upon a red horse. Right, so we're going to read about a chief angel and angels that follow him. All right, a man riding upon a red horse, and he stood among the myrtle trees that were in the bottom, and behind him were the red horses, speckled and white. Now, when it says you have this man upon a red horses, and behind them are red horses, speckled horses, and white horses, these are different angels led by the chief angel, if you can understand, right? So each angel is given a different color. They're color coded so you can understand the responsibility that the Most High has given them or their mission. You got red horses, you got speckled horses, you got white horses. These are different angels, right? And it's not talking about an actual horse, right? You got certain brothers that'll read that and say, well, that's an actual horse. Well, it's not an actual horse. All right. We just read that these horses are symbolic sometimes for power and strength. Sometimes the horses represent angels, but there's different colors. You know, let's prove that. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 6. Right, 2 Kings chapter 6 and 17. This 2 Kings chapter 6 and 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Yahweh, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. So the mountain was full of angels. It's not actual horses, right? Because the other army, the opposing army, they had horses, man. And what power is a horse and a chariot with no rider, right? So we know that's not an actual horse and a chariot, but it's talking about the angels and the physical chariots that are with them, man. Because they're one and the same. They move hand in hand. See that in Ezekiel, the first chapter. Wherever the angels go, the chariots go. You know, look at the. It says that the spirit of the wheels, or the spirit of the angel, was within the wheels. So when these chariots are flowing about, they're only being moved by the spirit of the angel that controls it. So that's why they go hand in hand. You always read about the horses and the chariots, the horses and the chariots. And you got to think about it on the terrestrial level. You think about an ancient chariot. And that ancient chariot, I'm speaking about a physical earthly chariot, right? With wheels, you know, and a seat. That chariot not moving unless the horse moving. They go hand in hand. Whenever that horse moves, that chariot moves. So on a spiritual level, whenever these horses move, the angels move, the chariots move with them. That's why it's full of horses and chariots of fire, right? And these are different angels, but they're being mentioned and referred to in the scriptures as horses. So we have to go through the precepts and explain that, right? I had another precept I wanted to get into. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 6 and 1. All right, this is Zechariah chapter 6 and 1. I'm gonna go back to Zechariah the first chapter, but I want to read this. This is Zechariah chapter 6 and 1. And I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots, right, out from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of brass, right? So these chariots, they come in basically from the spirit world, man. And they between the heaven and the earth. They came out between the heaven and the earth. It's not a physical mountain of brass. There is no mountain made of brass that I have seen, right? That's something that Esau kind of would have been told man about. We got this mountain of brass. It's a top tourist site, right? And the Lord said, the heaven that is above thee shall be brass. And then another count, it says the earth below thee shall be brass. So these are coming out basically out the spirit world, right? And it's 4 chariots, spaceships, UFOs, all right? And the first chariot were red horses, and in the second chariot, black horses. Now, these red horses, they symbolize angels that are sent to cause death and destruction on the earth. All right? Let's go to Revelation chapter 6 real quick. All right? So when death is rolling through that sitting upon a pale horse, he got red horses with him. All right? He got actual red horses with him because their job is to cause death on the earth. All right, bear with me 1 second. All right. So you got to understand there's a word or there's a term that even Esau has called hippology. Right? If you look up the I'm gonna pull it up. Slacky up. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up on here. There's a term called hippology. All right. Now the term hippology, it means, I'm pulling it up. It says hippology is the study of the horse. Today, hippology is the title of an equine, veterinary, and management knowledge contest that is used for basically horse breeding and farming. So that's what hippology is. So you got to kind of know a little bit of hippology and understand why these horses have different colors. Like there's actual horses, man. When you look at, they have different coats, right? And that's their coats is the product that I'm breeding. So you may have an all black horse, and they may have bred, these farmers may have bred him just for brute strength and speed and to pull weight. You may have a horse bred and it may be speckled, and his father may have been the black horse and his mother may have been a white horse. So he may carry the attributes of both of these different horses, right? Or you may have a red horse. He may have been bred for racing, So this is called hippology, and you got to kind of know that a little bit when you're going into these breaking down Zechariah and these different horses to understand that you have coat colors, even on a physical level, that represent different genetic attributes and strengths of these animals, just to show you that you have different angels given different colors because they have different responsibilities in the Most High's army. All right. So let's go to Revelation chapter 6 and verse 4. And it reads, Revelation 6 and 4, about the red horse, because you have red horses in Zechariah the 1st chapter and in Zechariah the 6th chapter. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. So you have spirits out there that are created to cause hell on the earth, right? Destruction, war. You understand, bombs being dropped. Those are done by the red horses. So when you see that red horse, it's symbolic for the destruction coming on the earth. All right. And Esau, he picked up that spirit, man. That's why Esau came out red, and he was given a great sword, because he has that same spirit to take peace from the earth. He has that red horse or that spirit of evil in him. He's a physical manifestation of the spirit of the red horse on the earth. That's why he came out red. That's why he take peace from the earth. That's why he was given a great sword. And that's why man kill one another now, because the earth is given to the power of the wicked. All right. So in Zechariah chapter 6 and 2 again, right? Zechariah chapter 6 and 2, and it reads, and the first chariot, there were red horses. So Zechariah saw this spaceship, and he saw certain angels inside this spaceship. And he was given a breakdown to know, hey, look, these angels inside this spaceship, and they sent to do one thing on the earth, to take peace from the earth, right? And then the second chariot, black horses. So now we get into these different coat colors for these different horses, these different angels. All right. And that's the same thing we reading about in Zechariah, the first chapter. Now, Zechariah, the first chapter, it says speckled horses, red horses, and white horses. But now in the sixth chapter, it's speaking about the black horses. Now, when you read Revelation, the sixth chapter, it speaks about the black horses, right? Let's go to Revelation chapter 6. All right. Let's go to Revelation, the sixth chapter, and the fifth verse. All right, bear with me 1 second. All right, bear with me. Let's go to Revelation chapter 6, and I want to read verse, let's see, verse 5. All right, Revelation chapter 6 and 5, and it reads, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. He that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. So these angels was given power basically to put the Israelites in a state of captivity, in a state of woe, in a state of exile, and they stirred up the spirit of these nations. But their job, they can do that, but they wasn't given a commandment to completely destroy Israel, because the Lord said, do not take away the oil and wine from them. The oil and wine is the knowledge and understanding that's deep down inside of you, right? And that's why we still bear witness with this truth. When it says a measure of wheat for a penny and 3 measures of barley for a penny, that's talking about this bread. Wheat and barley are symbolic for the bread, and it's given to you freely, man. Right? This knowledge is going to be given to you. All right? It's live and direct right in front of you. All right? But these angels, they can't completely destroy you because you have to bear witness with this truth at a certain portion of time. All right? That's what it means, a measure of wheat for a penny. That's like a riddle. And 3 measures of barley for a penny, meaning it's cheap. That's a lot given to you at low cost, man. All right? So these black horses, they have power to put Israel in a lower state, but they couldn't take away the oil and wine. Right? So you have angels created for different duties, man. So those are in the black horse. The black horse is inside that spaceship. Right? So back in Zechariah chapter 6 and 2, and the first chariot were red horses, and the second chariot black horses, and the third chariot white horses. White horses represent righteous angels, if you will. Right? Angels that are sent for salvation, for protection, for guidance. All right? Let's go to Revelation chapter 19 and prove that. All right? Let's go to Revelation chapter 19. All right? This Revelation chapter 19 and verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. This the Lord upon a white horse, man. Now, this white horse represents the power and righteousness, which is his spaceship that he's coming in. Right? White represents pure, and his horse represents power. So he's coming in righteous power, right? Which is symbolic of him being on that spaceship. Right? So even the Lord was given power, man. Which of course makes sense, because seeing that he created all things, and all things are by him and for him. All right. It says, and he that sat upon him was called faithful and true, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. Right? His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. Here's the point. And he, verse 14, and the armies, check this out, the armies, meaning the angels, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. So these are white horses, meaning righteous power. All right, the righteous angels. Right? Let's give you an example of these white horses. Let's go to Psalms chapter 91. Right? Let's show you about these white horses. Right? So the Most High, he bred these and created these angels. Not bred as in sex, but created these angels for his responsibility, for each responsibility, if you will. All right, let's give you an example of these white horses. This Psalms chapter 91 and 10. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. But he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. So the white angels, they're around you right now, man. Right? So if you want to know what horse is surrounding you now, these are the white horses, man. And they got their own chariot that they in, man, that they fly in. Right? And you got angels that report prayers, right? The 7 holy angels that go in and out before the Holy One. You got angels that are created just to bring up prayers. Angels that are sent to record what you do. You know, you got horses created for everything, man. Now, if you look up these different type of horses, you got many horses. You got Mustangs. You got a Clydesdale, which are used to carry passengers. You got a what else? What's another type of horse? I can't think of too many, man. But you got a lot of different horses for different reasons, right? For racing, you got race horses. You got horses that participate in damn what is it like beauty contest, if you will. You know, when they go through the different courses and they model, for lack of better terms. You know, so you got horses for every reason. So this is an example of the white horses in Psalms 91. Right? Let's go to Psalms 34 and 7 to give you another example of the white horse. Right? Psalms chapter 34 and 7. The angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. Oh, taste and see that Yahweh is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in him. Right? So let's go back to Zechariah chapter 6. We breaking down these different horses, man. All right. So let's go back to Zechariah chapter 6. Zechariah chapter 6 and verse 3. And the third chariot, white horses. And in the fourth chariot, grizzled and bay horses. Now, these grizzled and bay horses represent these speckled horses in Zechariah, the first chapter. If you look up a bay horse, I would look it up, but my something happened to my phone. But look up a bay horse, right? And you could kind of look up that the color of the bay horse. That's an actual color. Grizzled and bay, meaning these strong speckled horses, for lack of better terms. Meaning these are different horses created for various offices, right? Meaning that they have different they have the ability, for lack of better terms, to do a plethora of things, right? Grizzled and bay horses. It says, then I answered and said unto the angel that talked with me, what are these, my Lord? Meaning, what are these chariots and these angels? What am I looking at? What is this? You know, it says, and the angel answered and said unto me, these are the 4 spirits of the heavens which go forth from standing before the Lord of all the earth. Meaning these are the angels up there in the most high's heaven. And they stand before Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua day and night. And their job is to be sent from the heavens at a set time and come to the earth and fulfill the will of the Most High on the earth. And they got to report back to the Lord, man. Like any soldier report back to the general. Any captain report back to the general. A Michael the archangel, he got to report back to the Lord, man. Hey, Uriel and Raphael, they got to report back to the Most High. Gabriel, he got to report back to the Lord, man. Right? So these 4 spirits represent a plethora of angels that are up there in the heavens. All right. Verse 6. The black horses, which are therein, go forth into the north country. Right? That's why we went through it and showed you that their job was to stir up the minds of these nations and put us in captivity. And a great majority of the Israelites are in the north country. That's why the black horses were sent over here. Right? Because we were sent over here to captivity. This is the north country. It says, and a white go forth after them. Meaning after we done this captivity, the white horses are coming to deliver us. All right. We read that in Revelation 19. And the grizzled go forth toward the south country. So they sent to the south country. And the bay went forth and sought to go that they might walk to and fro through the earth. So their job is to basically get recon and do the will of the Most High to and fro through the earth. Right? They travel from to each continent, each country. They may be in your house. They may be at your workplace. They may be all over, man. And it was basically saying, look, we need to go to and fro through the earth. We got a job to do. Let me hurry up and go do my job. That's what they reporting. It says, and he said, get you hence, walk to and fro through the earth. Then cried he upon me and spake unto me, saying, behold, these that go toward the north country have quieted my spirit in the north country. So the Lord's spirit was quieted in the north country. The north country is Babylon the Great. All right. So let's go to back to Zechariah, the first chapter. All right. Let's go to Zechariah, the first chapter and the 8th verse again. Zechariah chapter 1 and 8. I saw by night, and behold, a man riding upon a red horse, and he stood upon the myrtle trees, among the myrtle trees, Salakia, that were in the bottom. And behind him, there were red horses. We broke that down, speckled. Speckled meaning they have different responsibilities. Like if you breed a white horse and a red horse, it may come out spotted, it may come out looking half red, half white. Then they carry the attributes of different offices, speckled horses and white. Then said I, O my Lord, what are these? And the angel that talked with me said unto me, I will show thee what these be. Meaning, I'm going to break this down. And the man that stood among the myrtle trees answered and said, these are they whom the Lord hath sent to walk through to and fro through the earth. Meaning these are different angels. Anytime, well, not anytime, but a great majority of the time, when you hear the words to and fro, it's speaking about the angels. Right? Let's go to 2 Chronicles. Let's prove that. All right, let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 16, and let's go to verse 9. Right? 2 Chronicles chapter 16.